Yay, taps. Well, not yay. Sorry about that ridiculousness. Taps and a kazoo. And anyways, it's the semifinals. Welcome to Fantasy Sports Addicts Anonymous. My name is Tom. Sunday fun day, full effect. First NFL Sunday of the year. Hope you were able to enjoy yours. I looked at my rosters after I got home and I was like, oops. A couple of choices I made did not exactly work out the way I wanted. Oopsie. But that's all right. Week 1. Anyways, it's first week of the season. Anyways, right, it's the semifinals for fantasy baseball. And let's just look at the casualties. Like, I think we'll just jump in where we jumped in last week. I'm going to go league by league the same way we did it. Starting off with FSAA Dynasty. That's Cubby Knoll James's Dynasty. And I'll just share my screen, keep it nice and simple here. And what you're going to see here is, there you go, FSAA Dynasty. Sharing the screen. Hopefully y'all can see it. Give me just 1 second to make sure it's all good to go here. Oh, good. We get the ads on this browser. I can't use the same browser I'm broadcasting from. Anywho, we got FSAA Dynasty. And let's just run through it. Of course, this is the quarterfinals. This was an 8-team playoffs. So basically half the league. And you can see that the waiver wire was rummaged through all week. You just view all. People are furiously adding and dropping, furiously adding and dropping. I mean, it, goes all the way back here. But that's the playoffs. I mean, this is what you got to do. It's do or die, 18 playoffs. Was back up to where we were. And here we are. Okay, so let's just run through these matchups. Looks like Pepsi Pete beat Florida Andrew 8-4. And Nathan fucked David to death. Good old Reverend Nate Dogg fucking people to death. Pete and Nathan going against it next week in the semifinals. It's gonna be a hairy matchup. Then again, they're all hairy matchups. James Brizzo Face took out J Money, Capillary and Crest. Womp, womp, womp. And of course, Hot Beef. That's E, another Florida guy from James's previous leagues. He took down C Money. Connor's not going to work here anymore. Whoop, whoop. So James and I guess Hot Beef have a little bit of a hot beef. There may be some trash talk. I'm looking forward to that. So again, comes down to James and his Florida guy and Pepsi Pete and Nate Dogg. So semifinals, do or die. Now moving along here, going to go to FSAA head-to-head. And this is just a redraft league. And we're going to go to, hopefully, okay, here are the matchups, right? We got a bye week, standard 12. Actually, this isn't 12 team. I think it's, yeah. Okay, yeah. Yes, okay. Yes. You can see how many teams it is here now. Right? 16. It's cute. We should do 18 playoffs. Anyways, we got James here, all your stolen base. He had the first bye week. And, of course, we have a tie here. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the tiebreaker goes to J Money. I'm not positive. Why don't we look? If you're curious about that, where do I find this? Well, we go to the matchups, right? And here we go. Wait, schedule. And we're going to look at Right and 2, just make sure we're looking at the right guy. And of course, he played, right? Bull drum him. Let's take a look. Here we go. Bull drum him, I'm guessing he played, looks like only once. Well, fancy that. Okay, so that means, so the tie, wait, no, this, really? So they tied that week. They're tied this week. So we have to go to a second tiebreaker, which I guess goes to overall record. And obviously, in this case, that would go to J Money. I believe that's how it works. Jesus. All right. You know what? Man, I'm really screwing up this broadcast. Sorry, everybody. We're going to look at the league settings. Always check your set. I run this league. I can't even remember the damn settings. Excuse me. It's a 14-team league. I don't even know how many people are in this. This is what happens when you do a video with zero preparation. Like, it's a fun time. Okay. So here we go. Nothing here about, good Christ. All right, you know what? This is just dead air. Fuck it. If you want to figure out what the league settings are, go right ahead. I'm not going to waste time with it. Okay, beg my pardons for a second here. I hate Firefox. I'm not blaming this all on Firefox, but the ads with the chicks that are like, for I guess a strip club. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's Hendrix. Band-Aids. Oh, Band-Aids. Okay, Band-Aids. I guess that's a strip club. Yeah. This is what happens when you're using a browser you're not used to and you don't even know what you're doing. But so playoff tiebreaker, best regular season record versus opponent. They tied. So, because they only played once. That's the long and the short of that story. Let's just go back to this. We'll go back to the standings here in just a second. But I'll explain it all again. Maybe if people are confused. I'm confused now. So here we are going back. Terrible broadcast. No preparation. Bear with me. All right. Here we go. Back into the leagues. To the leagues. To the leagues. To the leagues. No, not to the leagues. Now we're going back to the leagues. But even my magic sucks. I'm doing terrible tonight. Somebody fix this. Who's running this broadcast? Floor director's fired. Okay, back to what we were really talking about here, which is bye week for James, all your stolen base, explaining the tie between Evan, Will Drummond, and J Money. Right in 2. They're tied this week. They tied the one time they played. So I believe it comes down to best regular season record. In this case, that would be Right in 2, Justin, J Money. And then, of course, this was tied earlier. I'm glad we didn't have to go through all that. But Pepsi Pete held on by like a terrible, horrible thread there against Reese. Barely with like one fingernail scraping along the window ledge. So Reese is out, Evan's out, which is just like, that's got to be annoying to lose on like a tie break of a tie. At least this one didn't tie. But then, of course, on top of the curve, that's AJ. We'll be playing Pete. So AJ and Pete playing starting Monday. What appears to be J Money and James. Now that's quite a matchup. That's quite a matchup. This is going to be, I don't know, you know, this will be quite interesting. AJ was not inclined to move to fan tracks. I'll have to figure that out. AJ, you got to let me know why that is. You don't want to move when we switch over to fan tracks. But Pete, AJ, James, J Money. All right. Let's continue on. Whee! Okay. Now we are at FSAA Dynasty Baseball. Again, these are all head-to-head playoffs. The Roto Leagues I'm not even going to look at. We can look at that another time. We all know who's running away with FSAA Roto Redraft. That's Pete by 30 points. All right, we had this. All right, there's going to be some discussion here in this league. We've got a tie here between JD and David, and this is who the winner of this matchup is who I'm going to play. And then, of course, we got James Cubby Knoll playing this matchup, winner of Fantasy Aiden Woot. And obviously, this game was tied originally, and then Andrew's team blew it wide open. And when I call it Andrew's team, I have to be sort of honest as a commissioner here and just mention the elephant in the room because it has been brought up to me. And there are other things that have been brought up to me, such as tanking and people named Bronson. We'll get to that. Andrew has not checked in since September 4th. People who are eliminated from the league haven't checked in, but that's, we're not surprised there. But Andrew being a playoff team, people have asked, why is he not signing in and making moves? The answer I have to that is that I don't really have an answer. His team's being managed. The lineups are set. Reverend Nate Dogg is going to take over for just, I guess, the duration of the playoffs or until we know really what's going on there. So I've authorized him to sort of run the team, make some adds and drops. I mean, James doesn't want to get to the championship round like playing a ghost team. Nobody would. That's not, So we're going to make sure that team's run just, until Andrew's back. We'll figure out what's going on then. And let's figure out, hopefully I can do this in a more concise manner than I did in the last league. Let's figure out who I'm going to play with my second bye week between JD and David. I'll be honest, I was really kind of hoping to play David. Not that, I'm afraid of playing JD or that David's going to be easier or that JD is going to kick my ass or any of that. It's honestly just, I don't know. I met David in Florida and he's a funny dude. So I can imagine there's, if you've seen him in any of our other leagues, there's a lot of smack talk and, he throws the insults around with James pretty well. And, he takes him, he gives him, he'll take him back too. You know what I mean? So let's just take a look at our schedule here. And we are looking at ahead of the curve because he is playing, right? David. I think it would have been fun to play David just because they would have been like, I don't know, would have been a lot of trash talk. Okay, I see one tied matchup. Oh, dear. Okay, all right, so they tied here. Let's keep going down because, if they played that early, they played again. Okay, 10-2. So JD stomped him the second time, 10-2. So clearly JD owns the tiebreaker there. It looks like I'm playing ahead of the curve, JD. So the semifinals matchup will be me with the second bye no longer in existence. This is it now. This is it. It's where it gets serious. It was serious before, but now it's really serious for everybody because it's like do or die time. Like all bets are off. Like all holes are filled. Like sinks are being thrown. Like everything but the kitchen sinks going overboard. Stay afloat. Whatever you got to do. So Andrew's team will also be managed in such a fashion. Andrew, James, good matchup. Tom, JD, good matchup. Okay, now here's where, in my mind, it gets real serious. Let's stop and think about this for a second, okay? We're talking about the home teams. I'm just gonna let's just calm down for a second. I gotta, de-stress. It's gonna be great. Okay, home teams, clone teams, the home leagues, clone teams. Okay, this is what it's been all about for me for the past, I don't know, 10 years or whatever we've had these leagues. I've been building towards this. The first bye week, fuck bye weeks now because this is serious. Like I didn't like what I saw out of my team in these bye weeks. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about these bye weeks, but now it gets real serious. Let's take a look. We're going back in. We're gonna dive in. Take me back. Take me back. Take me back. Woo. See, now I'm sharing. We're back in. We're back into the Matrix. And here we are. Hall of Fame. Now, Nathan took it on the chin today and this week. Both leagues, same situation, no bye week, fought like hell to get one. But double eliminations, lots of rain delays or rain, cancellations. He had guys not playing when they should have been, and that's head-to-head. That's weird weather. I mean, you really can't account for any of this. So at least these games were decided without ties. That makes it fairly convenient. But so here we are. Not looking forward to this matchup one bit. There's me, the Doors. That's my clone team. And then there's Team America. You can guess who that is. It's J Money. Don't like that matchup. And then we got Woot. I believe that's Reese. Reese was No Way Jose. And we got Woot and JD. Now that, maybe some of the addicts don't know Woot, but you can never count this guy out. He's I don't know. He's one of those guerrilla fighters that's just hiding in the brush, hiding in the bush, just waiting for you to walk by. You get fucking knifed in the back. I mean, all of a sudden he comes out of nowhere. So Woot and JD, that's going to be a crazy matchup. And of course, going against Team America, man. Ooh. It's going to be two crazy matchups. Now on to my league, League of Evil. Again, thankfully these matches were decided. Ryan moves on to play, you guessed it, J Money Smooth. There he is again, folks. There he is again. J Money just hi, I win these leagues occasionally. Yeah, hi. So that's going to be great. J Money and Ryan. I think J Money's probably pretty much just going to wipe the floor with Ryan. Sorry, Ryan, not a specific dig against you. But I mean, look who you're going against. We all know it. We all know what J Money's team is. It's gonna kill everyone. And then El Mago or Mago, that's Reverend Nate Dogg, and Flash. Flash is a lot like Woot. For any of the addicts who don't know, haven't played against Flash. He's in a lot of the home Dynasty leagues. Another manager like Woot who's been around a long time. But yeah, that's gonna be a tough matchup. I still think it might have been slightly more difficult to play Nathan, but Flash, he's going to give me a run for my money. So again, all these semifinals matchups are really good. You may have noticed another thing here in the bye weeks with teams like Brawny, where they're losing and their whole team's obviously benched. Just go take a look at it. I'm going back to another league. So hopefully that made sense. I don't know. I didn't do a very good job explaining things with the playoffs, but let me cover another topic here. And this was in our next year ideas section. But this is Guanald Yumsky or Yumke. That's Sonic, our buddy Train Sonic. Next year, stop rewarding tanking. Bronson is largely inactive all year, which I will say this, he actually has improved on that aspect. If he made some moves, his roster's jam-packed. That's part of the problem. I get that. Nathan's been there too, where it's just okay, I've got all these super great prospects, but you're kind of waiting to see do they pull ahead of each other in the pecking order? It's oh, he had a huge major regression. I know I'm not going to be that good this year. Do I really want to just start dropping things? And I mean, if he's ready to compete, yeah, he's going to be more active. I think Bronson knows that. I think he sees the writing on the wall. He asked me if he should sort of apologize to the league for being slightly inactive, and I said no. Everybody knows what it is. But I don't think people are going to tolerate it a whole lot longer. And thankfully, I believe you don't have to. A lot of his whole 2020 thing, you got a lot of these good pieces, baseball and basketball. I think the call-up rate for Bronson's team was a lot lower than any of us expected. But he's got a nice core. you know. But it's time to start being active and like start looking beyond the top 100 prospects and just look for things as they come to you. And a lot of that's just paying attention to roster moves. Like for major league teams, like do they call up somebody? And it doesn't, it doesn't even necessarily have to be like, oh my God, hype train, run to the, YouTube channel and make a fucking hype video. Like it doesn't have to be players like that. But there's difference makers that aren't necessarily like super hype. That's what you're going to be looking for next year, Bronson. And that goes for anybody out there tanking. Like you can tank to get your key pieces. And that's the thing. All right. I want to say that as well. It's a dynasty league. You can run it any way you see fit, but it is annoying to look and see the same manager there 3+ years, bottom of, like, depending on how bad the team was originally. This is that year where we thought Bronson would be out of the tank, but he really wasn't. And again, when guys like Eloy Jimenez and Vladimir Guerrero aren't being called up, he can't do anything about that. Like, we thought Brendan Rodgers would probably see some daylight too. He hasn't. So next year, that's sort of a guarantee. I mean, baseball can't keep screwing these kids around forever, or there's going to be a labor strike. Like, that's all there is to it. But Bronny will be more active. And, when it comes to benching your team in the consolation bracket, as long as you're not benching your team in the regular season, set your team, set a full lineup, like at least make some moves and like at least be a participant in the league, like talk to people, make some trades, field trade offer, whatever it is, pay attention to call-ups, all that stuff. But yeah, as long as you're not tanking like gratuitously during the season, like, oh, I've benched my whole team, I'm Tris. I'm not going to complain. But consolation bracket, when it doesn't affect anybody, go right ahead. Like, tank. Everyone bench their teams. Then it comes down to tiebreakers, and it's kind of like a luck thing at that point. So I think everybody's following the rules. This is just that one last year where, Bronny's already there. I might as well. It's like having thirds at like Thanksgiving. You're like, boy, am I stuffed. And like, you see there's still some mashed potatoes and gravy, and you're like, oh, I'm I'm a pig. And you just gratuitous at that point, That's what Bronson's doing at the old family picnic. I don't think he's going to be doing it anymore. Bronny, you can see the anger rising. Anyways, I think I've rambled enough. The semifinals, it's serious now. Next week, I'll update. We're going to have the finals. And that's going to be just good luck, everybody. Taps for Nathan losing twice. Taps for everybody who's out. But the rest of us shall continue and fight onward and upward and to the gold. You can be enshrined in the golden locker. Something like that, It'd be fun. It's good. Let's all go for it. Let's at least all win one league. There's only a handful of us still playing. Let's win some leagues, baby. And I hope you're winning your leagues if you're not part of any of these FSAA leagues or whatever. Anyways, it was a nice time chatting and just rambling for no clear reason tonight. Sorry about the poor taps playing and the rambling. I hope I was able to explain tiebreakers because we had so many ties. We even had double tiebreakers. But I'll talk to you guys another time. I'm going to close it out with the Fantasy Sports Serenity Prayer. Fantasy gods, please grant me the serenity to set my ideal lineups so that I might get through the semifinals unscathed and arrive in the finals. And courage to add and drop aggressively, especially in leagues like this, like right now, when it matters the most. This is when you have to really question every decision you've made all season. You have to question all your loyalties to any of your fringe players, especially in a dynasty. Do I want loyalty? Am I married to Trey Mancini? Sure like him. But do I keep Trey Mancini on my lineup or in my lineup or on my roster at the expense of a championship? You bet your ass I'm going to fucking go for that championship. Yeah. And wisdom, make good trades. Amen. Yeah. Oh god, it's gonna be a bloodbath, everyone. Ugh, I swear to God, I think this is gonna be the most carnage we've ever seen in fantasy baseball season. This is gonna be horrible and fun. I didn't break out the double hat. Oh well. Website's fantasysportsaddicts.com. I'm on Twitter at letter F, letter S, the word double, letter A, FSAA. See you guys next time. We'll be talking finals. I hope I'm not turning on the red light. I am. No red light, no whammies. We'll see you guys next week. And we're going to start doing these Sunday hangouts because, you know, Sunday night football, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. We'll have little like weekly roundups and tell stories, ghost stories around the campfire. But pay attention and I'll let you know the details. All right. Talk to you guys later.